Hi guys, Ryu here with Narrative for Blender, and this one's gonna be a part 3 of the beginner series for hard surface in Blender 2.9. So we've done the theory, we've done a bit of talking about add-ons and stuff, and now let's model something before one of us dies of boredom. So let's go to Cavity and Shadows. I assume that you have machine tools and PowerSave installed, yes? So if you don't, watch my part 2 video and you will know. Don't worry about the warnings in the bottom of my screen. These are just warnings for add-ons that have been installed but have been disabled, like Hardops, Box Cutter, Mesh Machine, Decal Machine. I just deactivated them for the purpose of this tutorial. May the forces of the universe forgive me. Alright guys, so we're gonna make our first save to get this power save going in the right direction. So created a save already, but basically, go to File, Save As, and save your file. And then when you click on Power Save, right, you can see that Power Save was saved the beginner 4-tooth consecutive file. In fact, I want to rename it, so this is not what I want. Let's delete this one and delete this one. And what I want is beginner 3, because it's a part 3, tooth 1. And now power save is gonna actually rename the second digit. So watch this. If I click on power save, it's gonna be beginner 3 tooth 2. So it's a consecutive file number 2. And now I'm gonna have a auto power save file created. So if my Blender crashes, I'm good to go. All right. So let's create something cool. So we're going to grab scale. So S and X to scale it on X, and let's maybe make it a bit more smaller a bit, so SZ to scale on Z, and a bit more on X to make it a bit more narrower, and Control A to apply scale. You want to apply scale because if you start booleaning or beveling this without applying scale, I'll show you what happened, right? So let me increase this on X, and if I'm going to try to bevel this, so Control B, you see bevel doesn't go well. But if you apply the scale, okay, so you reset the scale, which means this is by Blender understands this is a default scale of your object. You can bevel everything and do all kinds of stuff without any problems. So let's go back in time and SX to scale it a bit on the X axis, and Control A scale. Like I said in part 1, I think it was part 1, shortcuts are the most important. It's your best friend in Blender, yeah? Shortcuts. So let's create a bevel. So we're going to hold Control and Alt and click on this edge, which will select a loop of edges in the direction of your selection, you see. So depending where you click, right? And Control B to bevel them, and scroll your mouse, and this will do, I think, right? Let's apply a bevel to this one, okay? So let's go here and apply a bevel, make it 3 segments and set it to angle. Click on shade smooth, go here, normals and auto smooth, right? Now we peachy. Okay, let's make this bevel a bit smaller because it's a bit crazy. So let's make this window bigger so you can see. Hold shift and scale this bevel up a bit, down a bit, sorry, and it should be good. Now let's select this top face, Control B, scroll your mouse down to create a chamfer. Then we're going to mirror this down maybe. So in fact this bevel is a bit too big. I'm going to make it smaller. Let's make it machine-like, So let's grab a mirror and we can collapse this one, okay? And let's grab a mirror and we're going to mirror this on X and flip it, and wait a minute, this one, these two, yeah, there we go. So we're going to mirror this and bisect it on X, okay? So what we are creating is some kind of a power cell battery generator, I have no idea, something sci-fi, okay? So let's grab a cylinder. I'm just freestyling, okay? Let's click here before you do anything with this cylinder, because once you move it, you can't adjust the number of vertices. Let's go here with 50, which is going to be pretty smooth. In fact, let's go with 80 because it's going to be smoother. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it, so RY90, and then we're going to scale it, okay? Now We can use this another add-on that I told you to install. Remember, it was copy attributes menu. So if you didn't install it, watch part 2. It's called copy attributes menu. Okay, what it allows you to do, it allows you to copy stuff across. So what we can do is Control C. So select this one, Shift Control this one, Control C, and copy modifiers. Yeah, this will copy all the modifiers, okay, including the mirror as well. So we don't need the mirror here, okay, so we can remove the mirror, but we need the bevel, and also we need to shade smooth. So shade smooth and auto smooth, right? So we got that going, all right. And we could actually use weighted normals as well. So here, boom, it's gonna straighten the face, and here as well, weighted normals, all right. Gucci. Now, let me think. Let me just scale it. So SX, make it a little bit smaller. And in fact, it's a bit big. So S Shift X, which will scale on both axes except X. So it's gonna scale on Z and Y, but not on X. So S Shift X, you see? Because if I scale on, you know, any axis, it's gonna just disappear towards the cursor. So Shift S Shift X will do this. And I'm thinking maybe we could have 3 of them instead of 1, or maybe 2. Let's do this. Let's make this bigger. So Shift X bigger. Okay. Let's go to side view here. So with your tilde key, go to right view, right? So right view, and then press 5 on your numpad to go to orthographic, because perspective is, you know, you can see that there's a vanishing point at the back somewhere. This one, you know, removes the vanishing point from the equation. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, right, from the side view, Shift D and copy this and make it a bit smaller with Shift X pressed, and we're going to move it somewhere here, okay? And there you go. So now Shift X this one and make it a bit larger, okay? So hold Shift while you're doing this and remove all the modifiers from this, and press click on this one and this one with Shift and Control minus. So we're going to cut a hole, okay, in this one, right? And then what we're gonna do is move this boolean, okay, above the bevel. So it needs to be on top of everything, okay? Just like in tutorial number 2, you see, and now it bevels very nicely in this area, okay? The same I'm gonna do here. So Shift D, right? Remove all these, make it a bit larger, and then Shift select this one and Control minus, okay? And again, we need to move this modifier to the top, so we're gonna move it somewhere here, okay? And now we got this mirror going on, right? This is an interesting conundrum. We got the mirror going on, and the mirror is after the bool, meaning it's going to bool first and then mirror down, because we are mirroring this bevel, remember? So what we need to do is move this mirror above the boolean, right? And then it's gonna be fine. In fact, we should move it above all the booleans, right? The only thing that should be beveled, mirrored, is this chamfer, all right? So there you go. Now let's talk about the shading, shall we? So the reason why the shadings goes to garbage is because probably we have some auto smooth issues. So if you look at this cutter, right, just the cutter, and you go to this tab here, auto smooth is enabled, that's fine, and shade smooth is enabled. Let's see here, everything is fine, and here isn't, which means we need to enable it, yeah? And shade smooth, and everything is PG. So see, with Vanilla Blender, you need to remember all these settings, whereas, you know, like I said, with Hardups, this is all done automatically, so you don't have to think about it, which gives you a bit more freedom to work more artistically without being, you know, having to remember about all these crazy things that you need to do every single time. So now what I would do, again, in here we need to do it by hand, whereas in Hardups you could do this, you know, it's done automatically. And we need to create a kind of like a folder for these cutters, so they're organized. So let's select both of them, press M, and new collection and cutters, right? And now we can drop them to cutters, press Shift 2 to turn this collection off, yeah? In addition to all this, what we should do is click on this option, click on this render icon, and make sure that the cutters are disabled in render, because we don't want to see them in the render once we render this this device or whatever it is. Okay, so let's maybe extend this one a little bit wider and chamfer this. So Control B, and do the same thing here. So Control B, make it a bit smaller. That's cool. Looks like a camera at the moment, but don't worry about it. We're gonna ruin the day. So now let's grab some more modifiers, right? So Shift A and grab a cube and move it in here like this. And now hold Control, so R, and hold Control to snap it into increments. Okay, when you hold Control, you'll snap to increments. Alt R to reset the rotation. So again, we can rotate it a bit like this, yeah. And we're going to cut this in here. Control minus, all right, and everything is good. All right, that's one. And two, we're gonna grab another one and cut it from the bottom. So what we're gonna do is grab this cutter, Shift D, move it in here, Alt R to reset the rotation, okay, and then Shift, move it to cursor so it's aligned to the middle, GZ, move it down, SY to scale it, and move it up, okay, here. Now let's apply the scale, okay. In fact, I think we didn't have to do it because it's a default cube, but drop this chamfer here, okay. How we're looking? We're looking good. Select this one, Control minus. And we can hide both of these two cutters, yeah? So, cutters, right? Well, just these two. So this one, and cutters. Nice. Looking good. Let's actually apply this because I like them, okay? So I'm going to apply, in fact, you know what I might do is change this one from chamfer, so select everything. So what you do is select the face, Control plus to expand the selection, okay? Control plus, and then F to flatten it, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually create a let's remove this mirror, because here I want to have a bevel, okay, like this, and in the bottom I actually want a chamfer. So Control B and scroll your mouse down, something like this. Perfect. Okay, and now you see there's this bevel going on here and it being cut off by this one, which is pretty cool. So now what I can do is actually apply these booleans, right? So we're gonna apply the booleans here, and we can enjoy life. Now let's select this one, and we need to apply booleans too. Where is this boolean? It's in here, so let's move it to the top and to the top, and we're gonna apply both. Okay, so let's go to solid mode and apply both. Now we're going to insert it, so press I to insert it. Okay, maybe that much, and EZ and move it down a bit. And we're gonna get some outlining here from this bevel, right? So see, now this is gonna be a very difficult thing to fix without Mesh Machine, so we need to go with a different idea. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this: Shift D, okay, P, selection, grab this one, go to local mode, so /, select this face, insert it just a little bit, right? Then we're gonna go Shift 7 on numpad, orthographic, click, and then we're gonna scale this. Okay, then Alt Control I and delete faces. All right, now we're going to grab this one and easy and extrude it up and move it down like this. All right, and go to side view, and we're going to grab another cube. All right, rotate this cube here, bring it here, bring it down with G, select this one, Control minus. Okay, and grab this cube and hide it to cutters. Yeah, peachy. All right, that's pretty cool. Now let's see. In fact, you know what, this cube, right? Let's let's recall this cutters. So Shift 2 for a sec, grab this cube, go to side view, Alt R to reset rotation. I think this is gonna be better. Yep, this is gonna be better. Move it a little bit higher, maybe somewhere here. That's cool. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab another cube, okay, and make it smaller, and then grab it in here, SX, make it smaller still, and bring it somewhere here, and make it smaller and bring it down. And maybe rotate it a bit, okay, like this. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's leave it like that, it's fine. We're going to make this one shorter, yeah? So G, Y, and move it here. Go to side view and go to object view. And now we're going to add an array, okay? So add an array, but on, not on this axis, but on Y axis, okay? So on this one, all right? So on this axis, we're going to add maybe, I don't know, oops, not this one. 0, maybe on this axis, and let's offset them here, okay? So like this, right? Let's make them actually smaller. So go to edit mode, GY, and make it, you know, narrower like this, right? Let's go to side view and let's fix this, okay? So let's fix the Z offset like this. Let's change the count to that many, maybe that's too many. Now let's move it up a little bit, okay? So move it somewhere here. Select this one and control minus. All right. Whoops. What happened? Ah, it's already beveled. Fine. So we got this one going on. Now let's check which one is which. Yeah. You can turn it off and on. Ah, this is the top one. Fine. So let's bring it to the top. Now let's bring this one to the top as well, and we can actually apply both of them. Okay. So now once the booleans are applied, what we can do is go to side mode. And let's grab these faces, inset them with I and E, and inset them like this into this structure, okay? In fact, we can do this, you know, a little bit deeper. So GY and move them a bit deeper, yeah? And what we can do is scale them on individual origins like this, right? Peachy. So I got some kind of an exhaust in here, right? And then, let's see this. This one, yeah, that's pretty cool. So now what we're gonna do is grab this one, okay, select all these, so go to checker deselect, right, inset them, all right, like this, okay, and then press E, cancel with right mouse button and Alt S to inset them inside on normals, all right, to do something like this, which is pretty cool. And we're going to design this middle, so inset it in, okay, maybe even a bit more, so scale it more, and then extrude it inside, scale it, inset it with I, extrude it, scale it, Control B to chamfer it, right, and then scale it in, and then inset it and scale it, okay, and we're gonna create something like this, like an exhaust, and that's pretty cool. And here we can have something interesting as well. So inset it, extrude it with E, scale it, inset it, and extrude it, and let's bevel this like this with Control B, okay? Perfect. All right. So we got this going on, and in the back, you know, what we could have is some kind of I don't know, pipe or something, right? We could have some more fun with it. So let's grab a cube, okay, and move it in here, scale it a bit, and move it to the front. So GY, front, back view, sorry, so here, back view, GX, move it in here, SX to scale this down, and let's scale this one as well, so GY, and let's apply the scale in object mode, and let's bevel this as well, like this, okay, like this, right? And then we're going to go to top view, okay, and we're going to move this inside like this, okay, here. Let's scale this a bit on X, move it in here, right click smooth, and then auto smooth, and then select this one. And in fact, you know what we're gonna do, we're gonna mirror it first. So let's hit the mirror, okay, and flip it to the other side, yeah, across this one, right? So just turn off the bisect, and we're going to apply this mirror, okay, and we're going to click this one and Control plus, right, and this we need to move to the top here, right, and this will create kind of like a Shift 2, kind of like a you know, front protection or something, okay. So that's pretty cool. And we can also you know, if you want to, we could edit this. So We could grab this one, and in fact, let's grab, let's apply this boolean. But before we apply this, Shift 2, I'll show you a cool trick. Let's actually Control R, so go to edit mode in the edge mode, and press Control R to, and then scroll your mouse to introduce some loops, and then we're going to apply it, okay? And the reason for it is that now we have a little bit more geometry to have fun with, okay? So if I'm gonna, for example, let's go to Shift 2 to hide these cutters. Click on this one and control click here, shift click here, control click here, shift click here, control click here. If you make a mistake, just go Control Z, yeah? Shift click, control click, all right? Then E to insert it, okay? And then we're going to A, cancel it, Alt S, and just move it outside a bit. And then we're going to scale it a little bit on individual origins, all right? And the only problem is that now we don't have a mirror, but we can copy everything to the other side anyway. So let's apply the mirror, okay, another one, to this main object. And by default, everything should get copied. This one wasn't copied because it's a cutter. I mean, it's a separate object. So apply another mirror here. And we simply need to flip it to the other side. And we need to bisect it across. Okay, so mirror and bisect across this one, right? The same with this one, right? So they have the same modifier. So we can do is click on this, shift click this one, Control C, and copy modifiers, and this will copy the mirror, yeah? So there we go, okay? So save it. Now let's go to the back and let's grab another cube and move it in here, and let's scale it, okay? And let's scale it on Z, on Z axis as well, okay? And move it in here. Let's shift Control A and apply scale, and we're going to cut something like this in here, okay? Which is going to be interesting. Now before we cut anything, we need to apply loops. So Control R in edit mode, in edge mode, and apply loops. Now make sure that these loops are not going through the mesh like this, okay? They need to be securing loops, securing the edges of these structures. So what I need you to do is alt click on this loop, which will select the whole loop, GG, and move it in here, okay? And we're gonna do the same thing here, alt select GG and move it in here. This will ensure that we have this, after boolean, this area is gonna be properly secured. Let's grab all these and GY and move it in here, okay? And now what we're gonna do is grab this bottom part, yeah, here, and we're going to chamfer this, all right, like this, all right, chamfer this. Now this is too wide, so we're going to make it a bit more narrow, like this, okay? And we're going to this edge, we're going to move it outside like that, and we're going to chamfer this as well, okay? PG. Now let's see this one. This one doesn't have many loops, so we're gonna have to introduce some. So Alt R, Control R, click in here, Control R, and move it down and click, okay? And this should be good. Now grab this one, and Control plus, okay? Not Control minus, Control plus. Come on, this one and this one, and one more time, Control plus. Fascinating. Now that is interesting. Could be something with the size of this boolean. So let's grab this boolean and resize it a little bit. There you go. Sometimes you need to move an object to snap it to the proper location. This is an interesting conundrum here. I wonder what's causing this. Let's see. Let's go to edit mode and see what's happening here. Grab this line, GG, and just move it a little bit. We could actually dissolve it. Just dissolve it and dissolve it and dissolve it and dissolve it. Problem solved. Nice. So we should be good. This one we're gonna fix, okay? So don't worry about it. We're fine. So let's grab this and let's apply it, okay? So let's grab this boolean, okay, and move it all the way to the top, right? And then apply it, okay? Shift 2 to hide cutters here, and this one needs to go to cutters, all right? Now let's grab this one and see what's going on here, okay? Because we had some problems, right? Or were they fixed, by the way? Now we're gonna have to do some repairing. So you can go here and turn on the X-ray mode. It's a bit confusing, I know, but it's easier to see. And you have to, we're gonna have to connect some verts. We're gonna use machine tools for this one, okay? So select this one, shift select this, press 1, which we're gonna merge vertices in the middle. If you wanna do it in vanilla, you go to M key, okay, M key, and M key is going to give you a vert merging option, but machine tools is faster because when you press M, you still need to select at last. Yeah, it's the same as pressing 1 with machine tools. So let's turn this off, and this should be fine. And let's see in the top, we can easily see this. So here 1, here 1, and the same thing on the other side. It's faster than adding a new mirror, so let's do this one. There's possibly some double verts in here. Now we need to solve this problem here because this is not a good connection, okay? Edges, when they fall into bevels, should fall at more or less 90 degrees angles like this. This is way too steep, okay? You don't want something like this. We could easily connect this too. Also, each cut on the mesh needs to have at least 2 connections, right? That's why you have 2 edges going into each of them. But you know, we can easily connect them, for example, like this, right? So we don't need this junk here, okay? And you know, we could mirror this to the other side, but quite frankly, we can just do it manually because it's faster. If you press H by mistake, which is hiding, which is very close to J key, which is hiding things, like, you know, I could hide it with H, you can just go Alt H or Control Z to either unhide it or undo the steps. Yeah, I'm gonna connect here like this is fine, and remove this, and everything is peachy. All right, cool. So we could have kind of like an exhaust in here, okay? So let's get out of the local mode with /. We could have some kind of an exhaust in here. And by the way, here you see that this angle is a bit too weak, yeah? It's a bit too weak. So what we can do to remove this angle from the smooth calculation, okay, auto smooth calculation, we could actually sharpen it up. So right click and mark sharp, and this will kind of sharpen this edge. Alternately, what you could do, right, because you could move it a little bit further outside or bevel it. So there are the options, you know, we could bevel this like this, right, or you could move it on outside until it snaps to an angle more than 30 degrees, it gets beveled, yeah? So you got options, all right? What we're gonna do is select these 2, and we're going to chamfer them because it's gonna look better. There you go, right? And we're gonna select these 2, and we're going to inset them like this, okay? And create some cool panels. So move them inside, scale them just a little bit, extrude them outside, okay? So E and outside, this is fine, all right? We're going to remove this mirror for a sec, okay? Let's remove this mirror for a sec, this one. And let's just create a boolean first, all right? So let's scale this, move it in here, and GX, move it here, go to side view, and SX, scale it on Y, so SY, scale it on all axes, move it in here, Control A, apply scale, GX, move it in, select this one, and Control minus, okay, come on, Control minus, there we go. Now let's move this ball to the top, yeah, here, and let's, before we apply this, okay, select the ball, go to edge mode, select these edges, and bevel them, okay? All right, perfect. Now, before we do anything, what we want to do is select this one. We want to run a knife cut here, okay? So press K, C, and connect these 2, press enter, and this will create an edge that after we apply this boolean, it's going to automatically connect it to, you know, this cut to both sides of this face. Grab this one and insert it a bit. Or what we could do is Shift D this, okay? Then P to selection, grab this one, okay? Go to local mode, /, go to face mode, E, extrude this, right? And change the bevel to something smaller because this one is crazy. Right, something smaller like this. Then we can insert it and, you know, create something like this, all right? So like a handle or whatever, right? Perfect. And we can bring this one to cutters, right? So now there we go, a very simple, you know, sci-fi machinery. You know, we could keep playing with this one, right? So for example, we could insert this one a little bit and scale it up, and maybe scale it like this just to give it a bit of a top, so it's not so boring. And Bob's your uncle. Now what we need to do is copy to the other side, right? So what we need to do is make sure that this one is has an applied scale, and also we need to this one is rotated, okay? So we need to apply rotation because I want to mirror this one across this one. So apply rotation of this one. Go here to this object, okay? And there's one more thing we need to do. We forgot to cut it. So Shift D, make it a bit smaller, bigger. Go to local view. Let's remove the bevel and weighted normals, okay? Select this one, and we need to apply smooth in here, which we forgot. There we go. Select this one, and Control minus, okay? And let's see how we're looking. So select this one, go to modifiers, bring this one to the very top until it gets beveled, PG, and then we're gonna move it to cutters, yeah? So now we can apply this, right? So before we do that, right, I mean, we can apply this, but before we do anything, let's go to local, go to this edge mode and select all this edge around, okay? And we're gonna chamfer it, okay, to create like a separation around this edge. So you can see that going around now, which is pretty cool, right? This one gets a little bit shading issues. What we can do is right click and mark sharp. This might fix a few problems. It might. Select these ones and mark sharp. There you go. That's a bit better. In addition to what we could do is move this one a little bit higher till it pops. There you go. Okay, now, so we sorted everywhere, or everything is well. Now all we need to do is add a mirror and flip it to the other side. So add a mirror. Oh, where is it? There we go. And again, same situation, right? So we need to bisect it and flip it to the other side. And the same with this one, right? So what we're gonna do is click on this one, and we're going to add a mirror here too. So add a mirror. Okay. And Bob's uncle. Flip to the other side. All right. Perfect. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. All right. Okay, guys. Well, that's our simple sci-fi machinery in vanilla Blender. Let's save it, and I think in next part I'm going to show you how to very easily texture this very quickly and get some really quick fun renders, okay? So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the vid. Give us a like and sub if you did. Links to all kinds of add-ons like Hardops, Box Cutter, Mesh Machine, Decal Machine, Cable Editor and Smudger Pro in the video description. Tons of video on this subject in my channel, so have a look. Working with add-on is working smart, and that's how you should work. But anyway, let's continue with our little adventure in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next video.